Hi, this is Nelson Ranch. So once again, we're at Umamusume 101, and now we're doing session 5, the support card mechanics. Okay. I kind of debated whether or not I should do this or not, but I'm going to do it anyway because I think for people who want to know, this will explain things. It's useful to know but if you don't know, it doesn't really matter. So you could just listen to other people say that this is a good card and just go with that. So you don't really have to know the mechanics of it, but let me try to explain. Here we go. So if you don't really care, you could just skip it. All right, here we go. So you selected the character you want to train. I'm going to choose Meisho Doto again here. You selected the two parents that's going to be, and then you select the cards that you want to go with. Once you do that, you click the start button, and then you get to this screen after you go through some like initial tidbit. Uh, on this screen, this is the main screen of the game. The top rainbow bar basically shows how much energy you have. And when the energy bar goes down to like the dark blue, you have very little energy, and the chance of screwing up the training actually increases. So after a certain point, up until a certain point, it's 0% chance of failing, but after a certain point, it starts to increase. And as the fewer energy you got, the more likely you're going to screw up. And you really don't want to screw up trainings because when you screw up trainings, there's going to be some penalties like looting eagerness and various other things. All right. So the title to the right, to the right of the rainbow bar, you see the status, and currently the status is normal. That status can go up two or it can go down two. So there's a total of five things. So there's like the most eager, then there's normal, and then there's bad condition, and then there's really bad condition. When you screw up a training, your condition goes down. So you want to keep that at peak. You want to keep that at the top level, most eager. Uh, and there's all these numbers in the bottom. That's your stats right now. And then underneath that, there's these five big buttons. And the big fat button in the middle is the training button. So you want to hit on that button. And when you hit on that training button, then you get to this screen. And then these are the five different types of training that you see on the bottom of the screen. So from the left is speed training, then there's stamina training, speed with the shoes, stamina with the heart, then power with the, instead of the arm, dumbbells, and then the guts training, which was represented by fire, but I guess in this one it's represented by some sort of, I don't know what that is, trumpet maybe? And the last one is in training, which is represented by a book instead of a hat. So in this particular one, I've highlighted intelligence, right? Uh, so on the top right is basically Major Orion here, and that's the card that's going to help you in that training. So when you go through them, it's rare to have a situation where there's no card showing up. Usually, one or two cards will show up. If you're lucky, you'll get like two cards of the same type. That's if you have like two speed cards, both speed cards will show up in speed, and that would be like a good training. You can obviously increase the chance of this happening when you have like three speed cards, and then the chance of people showing up to speed is very often. So in the beginning of the game, when you train with that support card, the bonding with that support card increases a little bit. It increases by 7 points. And if you go up to 80, then that card can actually now start doing friendship trainings, and the friendship trainings are a giant boost to your training capacity or training effectiveness. So you want to get to that level 80 bonding as quickly as possible. So in the very beginning, you basically just train with characters to bond. Now the other thing is that when you train, I think every time you train 4 times, the training level goes up, and the quality of the training goes up as well. So you want to actually keep that in mind too in vanilla. Later on, in like the current version, you really don't need to worry about that because it just go up. But in the vanilla version, you actually do need to care a little bit about hitting on the right training, because the number of times you train basically is the number of times it's going to increase in terms of effectiveness. The training will go up to ultimately training level 5. All right. So now, why are some cards considered strong while other cards weak? The training itself, I'm going to show in a video form in the next video after this, in session 6. And so you'll see what I'm talking about. But for this one, I specifically chose cards that you could get from the start, and the only really strong card among this is Fine Motion. And the reason why you can say Fine Motion is strong, and the cards I use here is a Special Week that you can get for free. The Sweep Tosha, which is an SR card, should be pretty easy to get. Measured Orion, which is a power card, which also should be pretty easy to get. There's Machikane Fukita Intelligence and Fine Motion Intelligence. Machikane Fukita Intelligence should be pretty easy to get as well. Fine Motion is a different story. And the last one is SR Kiryu Aoi, which should also be easy to get. So these are the cards that I have here. And the reason why you know that Fine Motion is strong is because of the way the thing is calculated. But before I can talk about the way it's calculated, I'm going to give you like the stats that these support cards have. So let me use Measured Orion as an example because she was up there initially in intelligence. So when you look at the card, on the left top, you see its bonus that you get from that card. So in the SR card, you get the bonus from eagerness effect and race bonus. When you go up to SSR, sometimes the bonuses will be stronger. Typically, the bonuses are going to be stronger. When you go to an R card, there is no bonus from the card itself. So it's only from the SR and above that you get that bonus. All right. And then on the bottom, you see like those green things, and underneath them basically shows you all the bonuses that it gets. Friendship bonus 20%, so it will actually increase the friendship bonus, the effect of friendship trainings by 20%. It will increase your eagerness effect by 30%. Then there's the stamina bonus of 1, so this actually is a stamina bonus of +1, which might seem small, but it's actually probably the most important of this 4-card stats. Then there's the training effect status of training effect going up of 5%, and then there's initial bonding of 25%. So when you have the card in the beginning, you actually get the bonding of 25, so you actually only need to get 55 more bonding to start doing friendship training. So high initial bonding is actually not bad. And then towards the bottom, there's more. There's race bonus 5. So with the race bonus from the card itself, this Measured Orion card has a race bonus of +10%. There's the fan numbers bonus, this is actually a number that really doesn't matter. And then there's the hint level up. So what this means is that whenever you get a hint from the card, the hint there's a big bonus to it of 3, so +3. So you'll get at hint level 4, which means it's a 45% discount. Not bad, quite good in fact. Then there's the hint emergence rate of 50%. So there's a 50% chance higher, a 50% chance higher that hints will drop. So high hint emergence rate is good if you want to have a lot of skills. Not effective, not useful in the early vanilla Umamusume, unfortunately. And then what's missing here is specialty. Measured Orion is a SR card. It's a card that doesn't have specialty up. So what is specialty, and what are the support card functions? So this is the meat of today's discussion. The training calculation. I remember when the game came out, like many people online basically tried to figure out what the calculation, what the formula was from the game. And through a lot of trial and error, basically this seems to be the calculation system. So it's all multiplicative. There's the base point that you start with. So if it's training level 1, it's training level 1. Then there's the status up bonus. So Measured Orion had a status up bonus of 1. So instead of training at like training level 1, you're effectively training at like training level 2. That's well, actually no. I mean that's not actually how it works. So when you do speed training at training level 1, I believe you get +10 to speed. The step up bonus, the status up bonus basically gives it 11. When it's training level 2, I believe you get training level 11 points. So it's kind of like when you have that status up bonus, you're automatically doing one level higher or 2 levels higher. If you get like a status bonus of 2 levels higher training. That's like the way to think about it. So technically speaking, it's not that you're having a higher training session. It's just that it's giving you a bonus, but it's effectively kind of like that. So that's why status up bonus is actually a very powerful bonus. Then you multiply that with the the boost percentage that you get for the character. So if you remember, Meisho Doto has a boost to intelligence and power. So when she does power training, she gets a boost to 15%, just because that's her. And then there is then the what do you call it? The eagerness bonus. So if the eagerness bonus is, I think, most eager, you get like a plus 20% bonus. And if it's only eager, you only get a plus 10% bonus. And if you're flat normal, you get no eagerness bonus. And if your condition's bad, then you get a minus 10%. And if your condition is awful, you get like a minus 20% eagerness bonus. So the eagerness bonus is important because it can actually lower the quality of your training. It's one of the few stats that can actually like do that. But having a high eagerness up will actually help you a lot. And then you multiply that with training effect. So training effect has no relations whatsoever to eagerness. So in the past, people used to love training bonus. And training bonus is actually quite good. Maruzensky, the card, Speed Maruzensky, the card, which came out, I think, like towards the end of the second scenario or the third scenario, I forget which, but that card was like an amazing card because it actually had like a plus 25% training bonus, which is crazy high. Like no other card has surpassed that, plus 25%. Oh no, wait. One card may have surpassed that, and that is what's her name? Nishino Flower Power. Nishino Flower Power card may have surpassed that with like a training effect of plus 30%. So when you have a high training effect, then you're not impacted by your eagerness, and you're not impacted by your friendship bonus. So no matter where you are in the card, no matter how good your condition is, you'll have a big impact. So that's why people used to love training bonus. And then there's the friendship bonus. And the friendship bonus only is effective if you're actually doing a friendship training, which actually gives a huge boost. So today, in June of 2025, this is now June, it's no longer May. In June of 2025, when you do the latest scenario, before you get to the new scenario, the uninhabited island scenario, the current scenario, the friendship bonus is big because you can actually guarantee the cards to show up to its specialty training. So if it's a speed card, it shows up to speed by doing the high Seiko route. You can actually guarantee that. So the friendship bonus is huge now in the current one. And then you multiply that with the number of characters that show up in your training. So if there's like 3 speed cards on training, you get like a boost to the number of people there. So this is the support card formula. It's complicated. It's annoying. You really don't need to know this. It's just that if you happen to know this, then you know which cards to pull when they come out. But usually people look at the cards that come out and go, oh, wow, this is a strong card. And that information spreads. So you really don't need to know that. And especially if you're doing the English version, because the Japanese players basically have like done this to death. So up until the current point, if you're doing the English game, you're basically following what the Japanese players have done. So you know which cards are strong as is. So you don't need to worry. Okay. So the final thing is the showing up rate, or the specialty rate, right? The tokuiritsu. Kita-san Black, the SSR card, was famous for this because she had a specialty rate of 100. And when people thought that, 100, that means she's going to be there all the time. No, it doesn't mean that she's there all the time. Here's what the specialty up rate means. So it means how often the card shows up. So if it's 100%, then the Kita-san Black card will always be at speed, and that's actually not the case. So here's what happens. In the beginning, there is a 10% chance that the cards don't show up at all. So there's a 10% chance that your card doesn't show up to your training. So now there's a 90% chance that the cards show up. Now there's 5 trainings, so what that means is 90 divided by 5, 18%. There's an 18% chance that your card will show up. That Measured Orion card has 0 Tokuidits. So that Measured Orion card has an 18% chance of showing up to power training, and she's a power card. So that's actually pretty low. What Kita-san Black has is she has a effectively plus 100 to the Tokuidits, or the specialty upright. And if you have plus 100, what that means is there's double the chance that she shows up to her special training, which it's a speed card. So it's double the chance that she shows up to speed. So there's now, in fact, a 36% chance that what's her name? Kita-san Black will show up to speed. Now, there's diminishing returns, so it's not exactly going to be 36%. It's going to be something around like 34, 35, somewhere in that range. But this is like basically the way you do the Tokuidits, or the specialty upright calculation. You can sort of do like an all, very quick calculation. And if you want to have, high speed, then a speed card that has a high specialty rating that shows up in speed training often is actually a good card, right? And then if on top of that it has good bonuses, it's going to be great. And the Kita-san Black card, when it first came out, had crazy high specialty up rating, and I think she had like a training bonus of 15, and there was all these like good things attached to the card that made the card really, really strong. And plus, she had a +1 bonus to power. So what that meant was, when you actually pair Kita-san Black with another speed card, then your power went up automatically, because when you do speed trainings, the sub effect that goes up is power. So Kita-san Black not only raised speed, she also raised power, and that's why she was great. And if she showed up in guts training, she would also help you in the speed and power too. So this is the reason why these support card statistics or effects are important. But once again, now that you've heard me through this, you now see why most people don't care. Most people can't figure this out. It's too much of a hassle, and I fully understand. So if numbers aren't your thing, just ask around, and people will generally know. And if they're not lying, they'll tell you what cards are strong, and it's not going to be hard. But the big mistake that I think people do in this game is that they think that just because it's an SSR card, it's automatically going to be stronger than an SR card. And when you actually look at the stats that these cards bring, very often there are SSR cards that are weaker than SR cards. And you actually got that in vanilla Umamusume. There were a lot of SSR cards that were actually weaker than SR cards, and people just didn't know. And so, this is why I say that in the beginning of the game, you really don't need to sink any money. SR cards are going to be fine. First of all, you're not going to have enough skill points to actually get the gold skills. Even if you got 6 SSR cards, you're not going to be able to buy all the gold skills in the first place. All right. And so in terms of raising stats, the SR cards are just as good, if not slightly better than some certainly slightly better than some SSR cards. So you don't really need to rely on SSR cards for your raising your stats. So no, you don't need to go crazy, at least in the beginning. Especially until I think the third scenario is when things. No, the fourth scenario is when things start to get rough. The first scenario, the vanilla version of Umamusume, I think you can get by with SR cards. The second version, basically youth, right? Splendor of youth. That one is also, you don't really need to worry about crazy good support cards. And the one after that is make a new track. I don't know if they're really going to do that. People really hated that one in Japan. Make a new track. You really don't need good support cards either, because it's all contingent on racing. And then after that is you get the Grand Live scenario. And in the Grand Live scenario, I think that's when you start getting enough skill points. And that's when the gold skills really start to become important, I think, personally, although I didn't enjoy Grand Live that much. And then after Grand Live was Grand Masters, I think. And Grand Masters was good too. But anyway, enough chit chat. For the first year or so, I think you can get by with with the cards that I showed you in the previous scenario. So Kitasan Black and Fine Motion, SSR, Super Creek, Stamina, and Kazuma-san. I think that's it. There's only 4 cards, so I mean other cards are nice. Ines Fusion is nice. I mean if you have Ines Fusion, which is like a guts card, it's fine. But you don't need Ines Fusion because you can just get by with Haru Urara. Haru Urara is like crazy strong in terms of ability to actually like boost your stats. And power, you really don't need power. So that means you probably want to make sure that you get good inherits from power. Then you're fine. All right, enough chit chat on this. I think that's it for this session. I talked long enough. This is support cards, and that's it. And the next video, I'm going to show you a little bit of the beginning part of the training until I get to the first, what do you call it, inherit. All right, see you guys around. Take it easy.